All right, what is going on, guys? This video is coming out late because we were partaking in some New Year's festivities, but we're good now, so going to get some plays out to you guys. Recap, absolutely crushed NBA, man. We are on a freaking amazing heater. So we went 7-1 yesterday. The only one we lost was Jason Tatum over rebounds and did not play at all in the fourth quarter. Ended up at 8, so we needed 2 more. Just horrendous playing from Toronto. It was a 30-some point game by the third quarter. They had 57 points after 3 quarters. That is just dreadfully bad. But let's get into the plays. We got college football. It's going to be a great day for sports and get you guys your best bets and get you on your way. So as always, we're going to go through here. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Absolutely free. Comment down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Join the Discord. We are posting plays in there. We got some NHL. You name it, man. A lot of good conversations taking place. And just a fun community, and it's absolutely free. So come be a part of it. Bulls and the Wizards. So we see Wizards getting 5.5. Does not feel like a correct line. So I don't really understand this. That said, the Bulls, I mean, teams they should be blowing out, they really haven't been. So I do have some concerns with taking the Bulls. Obviously, we were on them the other night and it paid off. But lean Bulls minus 5.5. I would go towards the under 238.5. Bulls do play at a pretty good pace, but it's kind of a high line for the Wizards. So that would be my lean there. In terms of injuries, nothing major. Carrington and Poole are game time decisions. So that could impact this line for sure. Desanmu's still out, the guard for the Bulls. I expect Zach LaVine should play tonight. Other than that, pretty standard. All right, Magic and the Pistons. This is an interesting one. Good defense. Detroit just hasn't been playing great. Kind of like a Magic under their team total in this one. Kind of where I lean. Jalen Suggs is a game time decision, but expected to play. I do like his over in rebounds today, over 3.5 rebounds. I like Goga Batadze over 9.5 rebounds. This should be 10.5. I don't know why it's 9.5. It's a very weird line, but I'll take the bait. I would lean Jalen Duren under rebounds, not on the card, but definitely a lean in that direction. Give me Orlando plus 1.5. Just the better team ultimately. And then Jazz and the Knicks. So we see the Knicks minus 13. I'm not touching that. The only prop I like in that game, I do like Jalen Brunson over 2.5 rebounds. That is an official play on the card today. It's just too low. Josh Hart, if the rebound line comes down to 7.5, I do like it. It's at 8.5 on most books right now, so I don't want to touch it. Cat's overinflated. Just a lot of overinflated lines right now. Kessler's at 10.5. Almost pulled the trigger on that. But if anything, I would lean just taking a double on him. If you want to play it, it's plus money. But ultimately, not touching a minus 13. Give me the under 229.5. Knicks at home, we just see lower scoring games. Nets and the Raptors. We see the Raptors after a dismal performance yesterday, only getting 1.5 against Brooklyn. This is a pretty easy one. Brooklyn minus 1.5 in terms of money line plays would definitely be one of my favorite today. Brooklyn's kind of got the gang together now, so I like the way they're rolling. They're going to play defense. We know that. RJ Barrett's a game time decision. Grady Dick is a game time decision. I hope we get some Grady Dick in the game. Because, yeah, we need him. Anywho, I like Brooklyn here. This line is just off, in my opinion. No Bogdanovich, no Cam Thomas. They're still continue to be out. But especially if you don't get RJ Barrett playing in this game, it could get real ugly. So this plus 1.5 could become plus 5.5 by the end of the day. All right, next game, Pelicans and the Heat. Pelicans 8.5 points against this Heat team. The only thing I want to play on this is the under 220.5. Pelicans have been struggling. Heat, we know they're just going to pop threes. Jimmy Butler's back. But 220.5 for these two teams is a little too much in my opinion. So lean under there. Mavericks and the Rockets. This is another line. Does not make sense. Like, does Kyrie move the needle enough to make this 4.5? I just don't think so. This Rockets team is just immensely better than the Mavericks without Luka in the lineup. Lively is a game time decision. They still don't have Najee Marshall. Dante Exum's out. Exum doesn't move the needle a lot, but Marshall's a good player. Most likely going to be missing Amin Thompson for Houston, so that's a lot of boards that are going to have to go somewhere. Almost want to pull the trigger on Şengün's rebound line, but not quite there. I think Jabari Smith will be kind of the benefactor of that, maybe Van Vliet. So there are some props I'm going to look at throughout the day there. But ultimately, yeah, Houston minus 4.5 in this one. All right, Hawks and the Nuggets. Injury-wise, Trae Young's a game-time decision, but expected to play. Bogdanovich is not expected to play. Larry Nance, I believe, had to have surgery on his thumb. So that kind of helps old Clint Capella. And we've got Okongwu back. So that is going to be the backup to Clint. It's just such a weird game. No plays I really like in this one, to be honest. I would lean Denver minus 5.5, just being at home. Yeah, just not one I like. Super high over-under. Yeah, nothing good there. One thing I forgot to mention in the Bulls game, actually, Josh Giddey, triple-double. Might be a legit. I might sprinkle a little something on that. I almost thought about sprinkling it on Westbrook in this one. I could see him having a really nice day, but he did just get a triple-double fairly recently. That was plus 4,500. So we'll look at that. Last game on the card, 76ers and the Kings. Kings minus 6.5. Philly's going to be without Joel Embiid. Shocker. Drummond is a game time decision, but if Drummond plays, love his over and rebounds as long as it's not ridiculously high. To me, I would say Philadelphia plus 6.5. Kings struggling a little bit. Somebody's going to have to step up, right? It's going to be guys like Maxey and Oubre. Those guys are going to have to carry the mantle. So could be a good day to look at Tyrese Maxey to have a day, especially with Embiid out. He typically does step up there. All right, college football. Let's actually, we'll just get into the best bets and then we'll talk about it because it kind of goes hand in hand. So plays here that I like today. Going to be Goga over 9.5 boards. He's over this in 8 of his last 10. Detroit is 12th in rebounds. So it's a really good spot here in my opinion. Jalen Brunson over 2.5 rebounds. He's over this in 8 of his last 10. Now, I think we're seeing 2.5 instead of 3.5 because Utah is 3rd in least rebounds to the point guard position. What Utah does give up a ton is assist, but Brunson's assist line is just a little cooked in my opinion. I don't mind the over 10.5 rebounds plus assists, but it's like 11.5 or more on most books. So a little too high for me. Jalen Suggs over 3.5 rebounds. He's over this in 7 of his last 10. Detroit 14th in rebounds to the shooting guard position. Just looking at recent performances and estimations, he should get about 9 rebound chances this game. So we need him to hit at, 4 of 9 chances. So really good hit rate here. Cam Johnson under 4.5 rebounds. He's only over this line in 2 of his last 10 games, and he's only averaging about 6.5 rebound chances. So he's going to have to be almost perfect to hit this. Ben Simmons over 6.5 assists. He's over this line in 4 of his last 6 games. Last 2 games, he has had 17 and 19 potential assists. So we're really starting to see this Brooklyn lineup come together, getting the rotations back in line, and he is really benefiting in terms of potential assist here. Scotty Barnes under 7.5 assists. We were on this yesterday. It was as sweat-free as possible. I don't think it's going to be that sweat-free today. He's over this in 2 of his last 5 games. He's averaging 11 potential assists, so he needs 8. So he's going to have a really good hit rate. RJ Barrett being back in the lineup will make this a little sweatier, but I think Barnes has a good day on the boards. Hopefully he just keeps the assist down a little bit. DeJounte Murray over 7.5 assists. Miami is 23rd in assists allowed to the point guard position. Now, I will tell you they're also 26th in rebounds allowed to the point guard position. So if you do love his RAs, I like it at 13.5. 14.5 makes me a little nervous. My gut says that line's going to drop to 13.5 at some point today, and then I'll look at it. But for right now, I like the over 7.5 assists. He should get at least 14 potential assists today. So we need a 60% conversion rate here, roughly. Last play, Trey Murphy under 5.5 rebounds. Dude's averaging 7 rebound chances per game. Miami is 3rd in terms of least rebounds allowed to the small forward position. So again, he's going to have to be basically perfect to hit this line. So I like fading Trey Murphy. Not to say he can't hit it, but he's gonna have to have a perfect day to do it, in my opinion. A couple of leans before we get into college football. I like Herb Jones over 2.5 assists for the Pelicans at -146. These are more dance partners. Jamal Murray over 3.5 rebounds is -145 on DraftKings. And then kind of a line I like, but it scares me, is Bam under 10.5 rebounds at -132 on FanDuel. It's just a really fishy line. He has not hit this line against the Pelicans. So it just really doesn't make sense to me. He's 0 for 5 on this line. He's missed it in 7 straight games. It should be 9.5, but just doesn't make sense. All right, let's get into college football here. So Arizona State, Texas. Arizona State is just talking mad trash. The Cam Scatterboo is like, no one can stop me. Quarterbacks talking so much trash. I don't like it. I mean, I think they'll score points, but their defense is going to get trucked. They have no pass rush, I mean, whatsoever. They have zero. So you're going to give Ewers a million seconds back there to do whatever he wants. He's going to torch them. They really just haven't played teams with good offenses. So I don't think they're not going to be able to stop Texas, in my opinion. So to me, I like Texas with the points, 13.5. I like it. I think there's a lot of points scored. So give me the over ultimately. But like I said, I do like Texas on the spread as well. Ohio State and Oregon. This one should be a shootout. So we've already seen them play each other. It was a high-scoring game. I mean, I think the two QBs, Will Howard and I can't think of his name. Jesus, it's eluding me. But anyway, they should be chucking the ball down the field. There should be a lot of opportunities. I think they're both going to be able to run the ball a little bit. It's interesting. There's some good trash talking here, too. I think Smith, the wide receiver for Ohio State, basically daring them to play man-to-man on them. So I like this. I think it's going to be a great game. But I do like points. Ultimately, give me Ohio State. Admittedly, very biased. I am an Ohio State fan, so take that for what you will. But I do really like them in this game. All right, next game, Notre Dame and Georgia. This one's interesting. This is a very interesting game. So Beck's out. We've got Gunnar Stockton in. He's played a little bit, just short little dumpy passes, so we really didn't get a lot from him. I think both teams are going to try to establish the run, right? Georgia's going to play it a little more conservatively with Stockton in, I believe. Notre Dame's going to want to run the ball. It's just kind of in their DNA. So the thing for me is Georgia has kind of struggled with mobile QBs, right? So Riley Leonard, I think he's going to have a pretty decent day. If we look at kind of some dual threats that Georgia has faced, they've had some success, right? Milroe, Dart, and then there was I think Haynes King might have been the other one where they've had some decent success. So I think Notre Dame's able to move the ball a little bit. I just don't know what to expect out of Gunnar Stockton. I think he's the unknown variable. And if we look at, how Notre Dame performed against Indiana, they absolutely shut down Rourke in that offense. And Rourke, pretty good passer. So it doesn't give me a ton of hope that Georgia's going to be able to throw the ball all over the field. So ultimately, in my opinion, Notre Dame money line, I like the under a lot. So I would take the under first and then Notre Dame money line. So that's where I'm at on that. But those are going to be the picks for today. I've already thrown some plays in the Discord and going to throw a couple more. So feel free to join the Discord. Absolutely free. Like the video, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. And I will catch you in the next video.